For the past year, I broke every single make money online rule and it still worked. I still made money. I still booked appointment. I still generated leads. And I'm going to show you in this video exactly how I do this by breaking the traditional boundaries and laws set in the make money online space, especially with digital services, any B2B services, online services. And there's all these rules that I want to go over and how I broke it and how I still made money in regards to not following the rules, right? And I'm going to show you real tactical stuff here, all including from the emails I sent. So I'm pretty much going to walk you through my whole sales cycle from generating demand and interest and all the way to booking appointments and all the way to closing deals. So I'm going to show you the whole lineup. You're going to get my exact sales funnel. If you booked a call with my company, you're going to experience the exact same thing. So everything's going to be shown here and revealed. So before we get started, a little bit of proof. This is what we ran for the last month right here. So starting September 15th, today is 1st of October. So this is our campaign for the last actually 2 weeks. So we had 64 positive responses. We had good reply rates. We sent 12,000 emails, and from these we booked probably, I think, 25, 30 appointments, qualified appointments, and we are closing a couple of deals. Our average sales cycle is 2 weeks, so a lot of the deals are closing the moment we speak. People are reviewing proposals, all that good stuff. We'll get into that in a bit. This is just my calendar. You can see my email here. You can see all these cal.com calendar meetings booked from in the last 2 weeks. There's about 15 appointments in that calendar alone, but keep in mind, that's not it. There's probably another 7, 9, 10, 12 appointments that are still going to be coming, because some of the appointments I actually book on the prospect's calendar instead of my calendar. They just send me their calendar. Some of them I book on my Calendly calendar instead of cal.com, because that allows people to book further dates out. And some people I'm still waiting on. So they said, let's book. I send the calendar invite. I'm still waiting for them to book. Maybe they won't. But regardless, we've probably generated close to 25 qualified appointments, and we're closing a good portion of this. I'll show you all this data in a bit. But I did this because I saw all these rules online of people saying you need to have these things to make money online, right? You need social proof. You need a personal brand. You need to close during the call. You don't need a website. People say all these things that you need in order to make money online, but I actually didn't follow any of these at all. And I mean, I'm not saying these are not good to have. They absolutely are. Having any of these 4 things, except for the website thing, because I don't know why people hate websites. But regardless, if you have social proof, personal brands, or if you close during calls, that's all great indicators, but it's not the end all and be all, right? You don't have to do it. Now, I do have social proof, but I didn't tie it into my messaging. So I'll show you what I mean by that. People say you need all these to make money online. That's not true. And I'm the living proof of it. And I have friends in the B2B space that all don't follow some of these rules. But I'm going to show you all this breakdown now. So this is my sales funnel. So as you can see here, the first step is we generate the lead or generate demand, and that is done through cold email. And this is the kind of emails that our prospects are receiving. And this is the first proof that I did not use any social proof. So there's no social proof. There's no case studies mentioned. People say you need case studies. There's none of that. As you can see here, this is a very, very simple email. It's just saying, hey, I know you have this problem, or I'm guessing you have this problem. I have the solution, qualified intros. And as you can see here, what I did really well with this AI personalized email is we mentioned their ICP, we mentioned their dream outcome, we mentioned what kind of industry they are. So we're kind of showing a lot of indicators that we know what they're facing, right? We know the issues they're facing, we know their company in and out. And just sending this simple email, we get tons and tons of responses. As you can see, we didn't say, hey, we generated this result for this client, I'm sure we can do the same for you. None of that. It's just saying, hey, do you have a problem? I may have the solution. That's pretty much it. That is the first step. The second step is then people will actually usually respond and will book the appointment. So as you can see here, this is an example of a response. They'll be like, hey, could be useful. And they responded this in 3:40 a.m. And obviously I'm asleep, so we replied 3:42. Maybe wondering how we do that. We have an AI that actually responds within about 2 minutes, and this increases our reply rates by 3x. So that's something to take away there. But it will look at the message and it will reply something like this: hey, blah 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 blah. This is a trained. We trained the AI to respond somewhat similar to this, and then we will give them the calendar invite right here. So as you can see, to this point, right now at this step 2, we got the appointment and we've had no social proof, right? None of that. We've had sometimes they will look at our website. That's one thing why I say you still need a website in 2025, just because, people will search up our email domain that we send it from, and then that will forward them to our website, and they'll still scan through that. Some prospects still like to do that. So it's always good to have, but most of them don't actually. Social proof, we had none of that. There was nothing. We literally just booked them straight into the call. Step 3, they actually book onto the calendar. And one of the cool things we do that is completely not industry standard is we literally just say, leave your card at home. You see here? We literally tell them, this is not a sales call. This is purely discovery. We're not here to take your money. We can't guarantee you we'll work with you. All right, that's kind of the game we're playing at. And we say, leave your credit card at home. People would never do this, ever. So we do that. That is quite untraditional. And we don't just let you book, weeks and weeks in advance. We let you book maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 days ahead. That's one thing we also do. At this point, we've disarmed them. The whole point of this is to lower their guard so that, they're not expecting a sales call. They don't have this tense feeling in the call. They open up more in the call, which is very, very important, because I don't know if you've taken sales calls, experienced a sales call where you kind of know what they're kind of asking, especially if you're B2B, the game they're trying to play, they don't really care about you, they're asking scripted questions. And I hated that feeling, so we don't do that in our company. And step 4 is a really, really important step in terms of nurture, right? This is a huge difference. When a lead is nurtured, they come into the call with much more respect for you. They understand the system. It's so much easier to close, and you don't waste time explaining the system. So what we do is, as soon as they book, within 2 minutes, we send them an email just like this saying, hey, this is the calendar invite. And then also here is a video. It's the same video on my YouTube channel breaking down the email system. So we just use that to warm them up. They might watch 2 minutes of it. They might watch 5 minutes of it. They might not even watch it, but regardless, it's always good for them to see a face. That's really, really important. If they see a face, they watch the video for, let's say, 30 seconds, they hear my voice, they kind of connect with me a little bit more. It's going to really help you out. Really, really helpful. So regardless of them watching till the end, doesn't matter. Still put the video and definitely speak in the video. Connect with the audience. Cool. And step 5, we actually take this. So we do a 2-call close. So we don't do 1-call close, which is a lot of industry experts will say close on the first call, or, they'll say hard close them, whatever the case may be. And they always say close on the call. We actually don't do that. So we have our first call 1, we have discovery, and afterwards, we have call 2, right? Which is the closing call or the implementation call. And we actually close in between. So we send the proposal right after call 1. So the call ends, discovery ends. Sometimes prospect close naturally on the first call. These are prospects that are the most ready to buy. Sometimes they don't. So what we do is we send them the proposal after the first call. And something really cool that we do is we say, if you pay the invoice for the service that we just discussed, within 24 hours of the first call, you get $1,000 off. And then you get $500 off if you close within 3 business days. So you get a nice discount on the price if you close quick. And that does really, really well. That adds urgency, especially when you're working with a lot of enterprises or bigger companies. They would like to consult with their partners or other owners. And you just add a little bit of urgency for them to do it quickly, saying, hey, you get this big discount if you close with pretty quick. If you close after the 3 business days, you still get the standard price, which everybody gets, but you get this big discount if you close early. So we have all that in the proposal. So what usually happens is a client will sign the proposal and they will pay the invoice in the email that we send after the first call, and they've already paid. So they're technically closed. And the second call usually just becomes an onboarding call. Otherwise, we'll review the proposal and everything on the second call and we'll close then. But that will still be standard price, unless they book the second call right after the next day, or maybe they book the second call 2 days after. In that case, they will still get some sort of discount. So that's very small tricks that we do to close quick, to close efficiently. Do not need any social case studies. Obviously, the case studies will come back when they're actually on the call. Some of them will just ask you, like, hey, have you done this for others before? And in that case, you do need it. A lot of them actually don't, because the product we sell is the same product we use to reach out to them. It's the cold email system. Kind of already shown them that the product works. That's the whole reason why they're on the call. For these kind of unique products, you don't really need social proof, because the product is the proof. Them being on the call is the proof. So as you can see, in our sales process, we have no social proof, no personal brand, except for the one YouTube video, but that video has like 200 views. It doesn't even matter. It's just for nurturing. We don't close during the call, and we do have a website. Regardless of what people say, websites are important. But as you can see, that is kind of the game plan on how I was able to break every single make money online rule and still make a good amount of money without following any of the traditional ways. And this sales process is super simple. From start to finish is probably 4 or 5 days quick turnaround, quick closing, and it's super, super efficient. So I hope that has cleared some things up. I hope that my sales process has given you an idea on how you can close deals faster, especially with this discount tactic. That's really, really cool. And just of the general layout of how I manage calendars, how I send out the specific email that I send out, how we reply quick, how we nurture the lead so that they close a lot easier and they come to you with much more respect, and how we add urgency to the deal. So I hope that has cleared you some, given you some ideas. Hope that was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.